Hey, brother.
Hello.
Welcome to Summon Greater Podcast.
Welcome. It's good to have you back.
This show is about nothing at all.
Yeah.
Because none of this is real.
Mm-hmm.
What is real is the friends we made along the way.
The real dungeons are the friends we made along the way.
The real dungeons are the traumas that your wife puts us through.
Oh, amen to that. She kills people.
She kills people.
It's hurtful.
In D&D.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But also she could if she had to.
She could. She totally could. I wouldn't put it past her. There are questions that we just don't ask in my marriage, Sam.
It's not making it in. Anyway, we have interesting shit to talk about.
Hell yeah.
At the top of the hour here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know? I'm talking to you.
Oh, not them.
It's
Me.
episode
Hi.
number 10.
It's episode 10.
That's 10 episodes.
10 whole episodes.
And that's cool.
It's awesome.
And to celebrate in this episode, we're going to read our first email submission.
Fan mail.
Yeah, baby. Also, we hit 1,000 followers on Instagram this week.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool thing. People are really digging into the character analysis bits that we're putting out on all of our shorts platforms, which are TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube shorts, by the way.
Yeah.
The Jack Black one in particular just kind of exploded.
That one went really, really
because
well.
I love Jack Black.
Oh my gosh. If you find me a person on this earth who does not like Jack Black, I will show you an alien. I would like to apologize deeply.
Don't try, just say
I'm
P.
not going to
Also-
say your last name.
You know what I did? I spent like probably a good 15 minutes just like when I was reading this earlier, just like trying to pronounce this myself.
Sounding out possibilities. Thank you to Jacob P. for our first fan submission.
Yes, it's very cool and we're really excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob has sent us 2 sorcerer subclasses
Nice.
based on demons and devils.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening, you're thinking, what? Those can't be all that different, right? They are very different and they are very, very cool.
Yeah. And it is something that in the email, Jacob talked about how much he wished there were more of a differentiation
Mm-hmm.
in media and D&D culture because of how different demons and devils really are. And I will admit to having been part of the ignorant masses, just not having really looked into it before.
I mean, it's an oversight that like hardly anyone would really think about.
Yeah.
You know? But like when you have that difference pointed out to you directly, it's like, oh yeah, of course, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened to me. Like reading through his email, I was like, yeah, there is a difference.
Yeah. So yeah, he kind of went on to explain that the difference, what was the way he put it? It was so good. I want to quote it directly. He says, I see the difference between demons and devils as the difference between a conflict with a wild bear and a conflict with a lawyer. Which is really, really funny and also completely spot on.
It's so true.
I really love
so
that.
true.
That's such a great description. The Abyssal Beast Sorceress Origin is the one based on demons, and it very much channels that just like head empty bestial rage.
Yeah, and really quick, for those of you who aren't super familiar with the D&D lore of everything, saying the difference between the two is like a difference between fighting a wild bear and a lawyer. Demons are the wild bears. Lawyers would be the devils.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, devils are very intelligent and terrifying to deal with because they can pick you apart just by speaking to you, kind of.
Yeah. Devils make deals. Demons do not.
Yep. Abyssal Beast. Hunger deep in your stomach and burning rage in your chest are feelings most familiar. Whether you yield reason and civility to your urges or restrain your bestial impulse, your terrible arcane power stems from the Prince of Beasts and the abyssal wasteland it roams, forever starving for blood and carnage.
Well, that's just metal as hell.
You learn abyssal spells as part of this subclass as you level up. At level 1, you get Cause Fear and Inflict Wounds. You get Barskin and Dragon's Breath at 3, Fear and Vampiric Touch at 5, Blight, Shadow of Moil at 7, and Contagion and Destructive Wave at 9.
Those are really good.
They're really cool spells.
Very thematic and super, super fun to play with.
Yeah. I had to look up Shadow of Moil because I've not used that or seen it used.
I was going to ask if you had. What does that one do?
It's from Xanathars. It's a 4th level necromancy spell. Flame-like shadows wreathe your body until the spell ends, causing you to become heavily obscured to others.
Oh.
The shadows turn dim light within 10 feet of you into darkness and bright light in the same area to dim light. Until the spell ends, you have resistance to radiant damage. In addition, whenever a creature within 10 feet of you hits with an attack, the shadows lash out at that creature, dealing it 2d8 necrotic damage.
Dang.
So it's a prepared counter.
Yeah, that's like
effectively.
It's giving me like anti-paladin aura vibes.
That's a good observation. Yeah, it is kind of that way. It makes me want to make a paladin subclass.
You right? Oh man. Oh my god, dude.
Like
hold
we
on.
have Oathbreaker, but
hold on. Could you imagine a devil pact paladin?
Ooh, yeah, like
Oath of the Deal, Oath of the Bargain.
Oath of the Bargain, dude. That's a really metal name. Oh shit, I'm into that.
Oh, we're gonna have to come back to that later.
Beastly Manifestation is our first feature here. Starting at first level, your connection to the Abyss begins to manifest physically, giving you access to the following benefits. First one is Beastly Weapons. You gain proficiency with unarmed attacks, which now deal 1d8 slashing damage. The damage increases to 2d8 at level 14 and 3d8 at level 18.
That's really cool.
That's ridiculously cool.
Yeah, that's something that we haven't had in Sorcerer ever before.
Yeah,
and it's
melee
something
sorcerer.
Yeah, it's something that I've brought up as a grievance, just like in conversation with our friends before. I would love to see like a melee spellcasting build that's not like Ranger or Druid or something like that. Like,
well, and like think of the synergy between like the playstyle that necessitates and something like Shadow of Moil.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Just being able to just get in there and do some damage or cast a spell and just absolutely decimate people. Yeah, there's a lot of really good like protective spells and melee like aggressive spells in there too.
Yeah. There was a specific character from Demon Slayer that this made me think of. You haven't seen much of that at all, have
Not
you?
really, no.
Okay.
Are you talking about Inosuke?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
That's
about as far as my knowledge for that anime goes.
I wish I could remember his name. There's a really cool demon character in the Entertainment District arc who just like summons these twin hand scythes. That's the first thing I imagine with this as like the quote unarmed weapon, right?
Oh yeah, like a summoned, like a custom.
Yeah, what do you think this is? What do you think this looks like? How do you flavor that?
See, when I saw it, I thought of like claws.
Okay.
Like I was thinking very, very bestial in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Because like a lot of the beasts in like the monster manual, things like that, have these like vicious looking long claws. And
like Wolverine kind of deal.
More like Sabretooth from the movie. If you ever
sure.
watched it, not the best movie adaptation, but the fingernails and so I thought of that. But I really like the idea of like you can reskin that to be like you're not like a vicious animal. You're just like more physically based. Because there are some demons that look more humanoid, just like there are some devils that look more animalistic or beastly.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's a lot you could do with that.
There's a ton of room for flavor with this.
Blood Drinker. When you reduce a creature you can see within 5 feet of you to 0 hit points, you regain a number of hit points equal to your proficiency bonus.
That's awesome.
That is well worded because, you know, you could absolutely just hit someone from a distance and like heal up right there. But this really, really reinforces the necessity of melee with this class.
Yeah, this is giving me I know it's not quite the same, but thematically it vaguely reminds me of Hidan, a character from Naruto Shippuden.
Okay.
Yeah, his whole thing is like he worships this deity of like pain and death and all this other stuff. Lots and lots of like, we would call it blood magic.
Obviously, got a crazy looking scythe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Obviously, they call it different stuff in Naruto, but like, yeah, very like you kill someone and like magically, like I'm seeing like the arcing like blood like flows into you kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Behemoth, while not wearing armor, your AC is equal to 10 plus your con modifier and proficiency bonus.
This is what we have needed all along. A constitution-based sorcerer. I've said it so many times. I will say it again as many times as you need me to repeat it. You are casting spells from your bloodline, not from how slick of a dude you are.
I don't think you're casting spells from your con.
No, not with it's still a subclass at the end of the day. Changing sorcerer to a constitution caster is a change at the core class level.
I think you could do it in a subclass. Like you just write that wording into the subclass. Like your spellcasting modifier is now your constitution.
That's fair. I guess the only reason why I say it would be at the class level is because we've never had a subclass that's changed your casting modifier.
Is true. Yeah.
But yeah, even if your casting modifier is still charisma for this subclass, just utilizing your constitution makes me happy.
Yep. Abyssal Energy. Starting at 6th level, when you make an unarmed attack or cast a spell that deals fire, necrotic, or poison damage, you can spend 1 sorcery point to add your charisma modifier to 1 damage roll. Additionally, your unarmed attacks now count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistances.
That's fun.
That makes plenty of sense to me. It also makes sense that doesn't come into effect until 6th level, I think.
Yeah, it's not in any way overpowered or crazy. In fact, just glancing at it, I could see how some people would probably think, wow, that's actually not that strong. But when you think about it, you get your sorcery points. You have so many different options for your sorcery points. But if you're not casting spells, if you're doing more melee damage than you are casting spells, I love this because you can just 1 sorcery point. There's an extra probably 4 or 5 damage per turn. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up really quick.
Rampage. Starting at 14th level, as an action, when you deal damage to a creature within 5 feet of you, you can make 2 unarmed attacks.
Reaction, actually.
Did I say action?
Yes.
Okay. As a reaction, yeah. You can use this feature 3 times, regaining all expended uses upon completing a long rest.
This is crazy.
It is really crazy, yeah.
And for those of you who are about to like come into the comments and be like, oh, it's just a worse version of multi-attack or a worse version of flurry blow. No, it's just cool flavor for a sorcerer to be able to do more attacks. And I think it's really, really balanced because it takes your reaction. It's like a barbarian using reckless attack. Just instead of getting advantage, you get 2 more attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that, but yeah. That is an important resource it uses. And
Oh,
3 times per long rest is
yeah.
that makes
Another
sense.
thing, based on the wording, when you deal damage to a creature within 5 feet of you, not when you deal damage with a melee attack. So you could cast something like inflict wounds and then get 2 unarmed attacks on top of inflict wounds.
Oh my god. Oh, you're so right about that.
That's so cool.
That's really neat.
Or Shadow of Moil.
Uh-huh. Oh my god.
Yeah,
no,
man.
That's so nuts.
That is really cool. It's like turning a sorcerer into a melee paladin build.
It is becoming more that way. Yeah.
This is awesome.
That's so cool, dude. Oh, Ceaseless Hunger. At 18th level, you have either fully mastered or completely succumbed to Abyssal Influence. That's funny. You can spend 5 sorcery points to enter a state of animalistic frenzy for 1 minute, gaining you the following benefits. When you take an unarmed attack, make 2 attacks instead of 1. Gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, fire, necrotic, poison, and psychic damage.
Ooh.
As a bonus action on your turn, you can move up to your speed towards a creature you can see and make an unarmed attack. As a bonus action.
That's so sick.
Oh my god, that is really funny.
This is going to turn you into an absolute monster on the battlefield.
Popping this and Rampage in the same turn, because you can do that.
Yeah. I was just going to say, you pop like a 6th level inflict wounds on somebody, and then you bonus action dash to someone else, pop them in the head, and then reaction Rampage.
Yeah. Yeah. that's a lot of actions in one turn. 18th level is appropriately high for this, I think.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, again, I know I keep talking about Paladin, but it's the same thing as them. You get at 18th level, I think it's 18th level for Paladins, you can for 1 minute activate like an enhanced version of yourself.
20th.
Well, 20th level for them makes sense though, because you don't have to spend anything to activate it. With Abyssal Beast, you spend 5 sorcery points to activate it. I am okay with that being a level 18 thing. Mm-hmm. I think it speaks to just how much thought Jacob has put into this when I say that I don't have a ton of critiques.
I also don't know if I have any notes, to be super honest.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of, and not even like a critique, I want to play this because what I want to do is I want to play it in a high level campaign where we like start at level 10 and move up from there. Cause I want to see how it balances with the rest of a party. Mm-hmm. I think all it really needs is a high level playtest.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Jacob has said like he has a player in his campaign who's playing this subclass.
Oh, okay.
They're at 12th level right now.
Oh, so they're getting up there.
They're getting up there. He says it's pretty balanced with the rest of the party.
Nice.
And very enjoyable to have in it.
Good. I mean, I can't imagine it being difficult or frustrating to have as part of your group.
No, I couldn't really see that. I mean,
especially with just the depth of the role play for this subclass.
There's got to be a lot.
It's so cool.
It's got to be really, really good.
Like, I'm already imagining like someone who like didn't know that they had demonic blood in them. Maybe it was dormant for several generations, whatever. And they're like fighting against it kind of a thing. So they're trying to stick to more spell casting, but like you throw in a little like, what I think would be really fun is if you're trying to fight against it, have like a madness table or something like that. Or like you roll to see if you like maintain control over yourself or if you go feral for a turn and just start melee attacking things.
Yeah. The way I could see doing the origin for this is the backstory is like the character was kidnapped like a year ago or so. And experimented on. And now some crazy shit is starting to manifest.
Ooh, like demon blood, like demon blood injection kind of thing.
Injections, yes. Let's talk about Infernal Bloodline. This is the second Sorceress Origin.
This is the one that I'm really excited for. Yeah.
The orderly, malicious energy of the nine hells have manifested within you a magical knack for deceit and entrapment. Perhaps your ancestor dealt with devils, or the circumstance of your birth was shrouded in paperwork and dirty dealings. Whatever the case, the devil's silver tongue and cunning eye is now your own. You get some neato spells here as well. Command and Puppet at first level.
Puppet is an unearthed arcana.
It is, yes. Crazy. Nistel. Is it Nistel?
I think it's Nistel. Nistel's magic aura.
Gotta say that. And Zone of Truth at third level. Antagonize and Sending at 5th. Charm Monster and Divination at 7th. And Gias and Modify Memory at 9th.
That is... Ooh.
These are great. These are appropriate. These are schnasty and tricky.
Nistel's magic aura, for those of you who are not familiar with that one, because I know I had to look it up. You place an illusion on a creature or an object that you can touch so that divination spells reveal false information about it. The target can be a willing creature or an object that isn't being carried or worn by another creature. When you cast a spell, choose one or both of the following effects. The effects last for the duration, which is 24 hours. If you cast the spell on the same creature or object every day for 30 days, placing the same effect on it each time, the illusion lasts until it is dispelled. So, the two options are false aura. You change the way a target appears to spells and magical effects, such as detect magic, that detect magical auras. You can make a non-magical object appear magical, a magic object appear non-magical, or change the object's magical aura so that it appears to belong to a specific school of magic that you choose. When you use this effect on an object, you can make the false magic apparent to any creature that handles the item. And then mask for humanoids or creatures. You change the way the target appears to spells and magical effects that detect creature types, such as a paladin's divine sense or the trigger of a symbol spell.
So you can mess with True Sight?
No. Ooh, that's... I don't know.
I don't know either.
That would be a hell of an interaction.
It's the beginning sentence of that paragraph is worded like you might be able to.
I think True Sight gets through it because this is change the way a target appears to spells and magical effects that detect creature types.
Yeah.
Because I think True Sight lets you see through. And I don't think that's a magical effect. I mean,
unless it's
technically by the rules as written, a magical effect is like something that is triggered.
Yeah.
I think, or
it's an interesting
or the comments will kill me for that one.
I don't have a good answer for that.
Yeah, but putting True Sight aside, you choose a creature type and other spells and magical effects treat the target as if it were a creature of that type or of that alignment. Biggest thing that comes to my mind, if you have a necromancer in the party and they raise an undead, you can make that undead creature not undead.
Oh.
And then they can benefit from healing magic.
Wow. That's a really crazy workaround.
Yeah. And they're no longer vulnerable to turn undead.
Shit.
But one thing that gets me really hard off of this, I didn't realize you could do this to make a magic item look non-magical or vice versa. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Like you can have this super big elaborate thing and you can be like, oh, that's non-magical. Or you can have like a ring of invisibility or like a ring of 3 wishes and be like, actually, that one's not magical. You can just leave it there.
Yeah. The deception vibes are very, very high with these spells.
Oh, yeah. So good.
Silver Tongue. Starting at first level, you are blessed with the Silver Tongue of a Devil. You have advantage on all persuasion, deception, and intimidation checks.
That's insane.
Devil's Bargain. Starting at 6th level, you have the power to create and enforce a Devil's Bargain. A bargain is a contract communicated to one willing creature in speech or writing and sealed with a signature or handshake. Intentionally lying about the terms of the contract counts as you breaking the contract, therefore suffering the effects of bloody bargain, which we will get into in a moment. For the duration of the bargain, you always know the following information about your contractors. Their exact location, provided you are on the same plane of existence. Any statuses affecting them, such as poisoned, charmed, or frightened. The completion of any term outlined in your bargain, the completion status of any term outlined in your bargain. A bargain lasts until all terms of the contract are completed or broken, or after a number of days equal to your sorcerer level have passed.
Okay, that's cool.
In tandem with this is Bloody Bargain, which also starts at 6th level because it needs to, in which failing to fulfill the terms of a bargain, intentionally or otherwise, forces the perpetrator to make a charisma saving throw or take necrotic damage equal to 10 times your sorcerer level, or half as much on a successful save.
Yikers.
That's potentially just a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah.
If I were DMing this, if you live, you're not living very well from now on, I think. I think that's how I would do that.
Yeah. 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 I love this so much, man. Like, I gotta say a little bit about this even before we finish talking about the subclass. I have an obsession with Fae subclasses and like Archfey and whatever because of the whole like Fae traps and like Fae bargains and deals and whatever. I love it so much. Like stealing someone's name or something like that. It is so fascinating to me. This is exactly what I want. This is to be able to make a deal with someone and be like, haha, that's magically binding.
Yeah.
Good luck. Go do the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me so happy.
It's very, very cool.
And it's balanced really well too, specifically around the fact that the bargain lasts a number of days equal to your sorcerer level. So the bargain wears off after 20 days maximum. If it's like impossible or anything like that. So you can't just like make an impossible deal with someone and then later on down the line, they just freaking die.
Yeah. This is a very open-ended feature because that bargain can be anything. Potentially.
Yeah, it rewards some serious roleplay and serious creativity on the part of your player.
An extremely roleplay heavy subclass.
Yeah.
And I am so here for that.
DMs, if your player asks you if they can run this subclass, I know that's going to sound real scary. Please tell them yes. This is such a cool opportunity.
I mean, I'm sure to some DMs like this kind of structure sounds incredibly invigorating.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, like, even for myself as a DM, like, looking at this, if you were to tell me, like, right now if I were starting a campaign that this is the class you wanted to play, I would be so excited and I would start like looking up like what does a devil's deal look like? Like in like other D&D literature, like what does this mean? What kind of deals have been made in the past? Like, I want to find out everything I can about all this stuff. Yeah. This is so cool.
This would have been really interesting for Sophia's character, Howl.
Honestly, both of these subclasses would have been fascinating for Howl.
That's really true. Yeah.
Yeah. Howl was a blood hunter that through some serious shenanigans dual wielded great swords.
It was awesome.
It was pretty crazy. But yeah, she was very, very perfect for both of these subclasses. That character would have been great for these.
Makes me want to revisit that whole scenario.
Oh my gosh. Like it popped into my head not too long ago about going back to the very beginning of that campaign and saying, all right, you can play the same character, but it has to be a different class and subclass.
Oh,
go.
Man. I would love to. I would love to do Sven differently. Probably just a different paladin subclass, I think.
I forgot Sven was a paladin.
A paladin, a minotaur paladin.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. For
Cool.
whatever reason, I had him in my mind as just being a fighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Sven was a paladin. Forgot about that.
Yeah, I based him off of Asterius from Hades.
Oh, yeah. God, what a good game.
Fun.
Yeah. But anyway.
Enforce hierarchy at 14th level. You can impose the rigid hierarchies of hell onto the material realm. You automatically know the charisma score of any creature you can see and can cast command on any creature with a charisma score lower than yours without expending a spell slot. Casting command in this way ignores restrictions on undead creatures, shared languages, and directly harmful commands.
Whoa.
How do you feel about that?
Ignores restriction on undead, shared languages, and directly harmful commands. This one is a little scarier just because of how I think this could be really, really heavily abused by like an evil character or a player who just wants to like, this is giving me like main character syndrome kind of a player. Like that's what I would be afraid of with this. In the hands of a respectful and story-driven player, I love this.
Yeah.
But in the hands of someone who just wants the game to go their way every single time, this scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
I think one thing that would make this ability less scary to me is well, I was going to say not necessarily automatically knowing the charisma score of any creature you can see, but being able to like make an insight check on them. And if you're successful, then you can determine their charisma score. Cause like, I love the way this would function for like a boss battle or something. Maybe you can turn a couple of the minions to your side or something like that. But if this person walks into a village and they're like, command, you, all of you throw yourselves in the river.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, there goes the shopkeeper, there goes the innkeeper, there goes maybe a story relevant NPC that you haven't even met yet. Like
someone could really screw with your campaign with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. This is reliant on a respectful table, I think.
Yeah. And that's the thing. In responsible hands, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess another thing that would kind of hamper the chaotic neutral party going crazy, you're casting command without spending a spell slot, but they still do get to make a save. So I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That makes it a little less crazy.
All of this said, though, like as I'm thinking about it, I think if you know, if a character really started going just like rogue with the Death Note with this feature, they probably are gonna have hell to pay in some way or another.
That's a really good point, because the other thing that I was going to touch on was like I said, we were talking before for the last one, how you wound up with this bloodline. I think for this one, it could very easily be that your character was the collateral for another deal.
Wow.
Like there are so many posts and jokes about like, oh, I promised the devil my firstborn, blah, 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 whatever for this. What if you're that firstborn?
Oh, shit. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That is really freaky.
So like if you start going absolutely crazy, maybe adopted devil dad shows up and is like, "Hey, bud, that's not how we do things."
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, crazy potential here.
Yeah. And that's not even the last ability.
Nope. 9th circle is the last ability. Starting at 18th level, your fiendish offers become near impossible to refuse. You are a mob boss, my friend. As an action, you can expend 5 sorcery points to force one creature you can see to make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the target's consciousness is trapped in an infernal courtroom and they are paralyzed. This paralysis only ends when they seal your devil's bargain. Creatures that pass the saving throw become immune to its effects for 24 hours.
And that's cool. For those of my people who have played Baldur's Gate 3, I've got 3 words for you. House of Hope, motherfuckers. For those of you who are not there yet. Suffice it to say, this is something that, not this exact mechanic, but a very, very thematically similar situation is in Baldur's Gate. And it is so many people's favorite dungeon.
Okay.
I love this. I know it sounds really weird to just be like, this is amazing, when I was like worried about abusing the previous power. Because this one's like, oh, you don't want to make a deal with me? All right, go sit in the corner for the next 3 days until you figure your shit out.
Yeah.
But this is really cool to me. Like, it's a ton of roleplay. And it doesn't say that they have to accept. They can stay in that palace for eternity. If they are just that determined to not make this deal with you, they get to make that choice and say, I'm still not gonna. You can keep me here for as long as you want. So, like, imagine you have, like, in your conquests of the realm, whatever, you have, like, a castle or a keep or something where you have, like, one room that's locked. No one is allowed in except yourself. You go in there. There's like 5 to 15, maybe 20 paralyzed bodies standing like statues in this room because they are still in your mind palace, having refused deals with you.
So, okay, that is an interesting way to do it. I was thinking a little differently.
Okay.
Because it doesn't specify this, but just in my mind, when I think about this, you're there as well, negotiating with your victim. And I don't think you have to do it this way.
It's a cool way to flavor
how
it.
I was thinking about it, but like a situation where you have to negotiate a deal is kind of what I'm thinking.
Like it's like tete-a-tete at a table. Like we stay here until we strike this. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Or we strike nothing at all.
Yeah.
Because one of us has to leave here eventually, kind of thing. You know?
Oh, I just had another really crazy idea.
What?
What if this is the BBEG? This subclass is the BBEG.
I mean, it's a good one.
And the entire first portion of the campaign is that you and the rest of your party have all been sent to this mind palace. Like, this is where you guys meet.
Ooh.
And your quest this is taking this in a very, very narrative direction.
Go for it. This is a very narrative subclass.
Yeah. It's like a Tower of God-esque escape room.
Oh my God.
So, like, your entire goal is we're going to find a weak point in this pocket dimension and escape back to our bodies.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the campaign is you, like, once you do get out, then you are, like, tracking down this devil person that tried to get you to do all these awful things and, like, raising the rest of the countryside to help you wipe them out.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to come up with, for a minute now, a pocket dimension mechanic similar to this, or similar to like domain expansion from Jujutsu Kaisen kind of deal.
Oh, that would be a sick ass subclass.
And this, I love the way that this does it. It very much has a purpose and lends itself to a lot of roleplay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the whole theme of this subclass, and I think that is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to that. Like, these two are super, super cool subclasses.
Yeah, they're very, very fun.
Yeah, so props to Jacob P. Again, thank you so much for reaching out. And we were actually able to have a little bit of a conversation with him, because when he first sent them to us, he just said, hey, like, I wish demons and devils got better representation. Here are these two subclasses. And we hit him up, or you hit him up again and basically said, what do you think that would look like, separating the two, like demons versus devils? And that's when he came back with the grizzly bear lawyer line.
Yeah. What he's written in the subclasses does a very fantastic job of demonstrating those differences.
Yeah.
And he thinks of everything. And he took like this line of thinking to its natural conclusion in a lot of ways. Yeah, very, very good content. Very inspiring stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stuff that I would play and is going in a folder of things that I might play.
Right. I'm going to like print these out and like stick them in a homebrew folder.
Absolutely. Very good stuff, Jacob. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching also.
Yeah. Thanks for being a fan. And yeah, again, for those of you who are also watching and would like to talk about an idea that you had, even if you don't have subclasses to go with it, if there's something that you want to hear us talk about, we'd love to.
Yep. If it's incomplete, if it's just kind of a thought in the beta stages, like still stuff we want to talk about in theory craft with. Because we love that and we do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that like we've talked about homebrew subclasses and homebrew monsters and all this stuff a lot. It's something that we're very passionate about. Even if you come to us and say, hey, I want to build a character, I want to take it in a different direction, I would love to do, like, I'm open to an existing subclass or a homebrew subclass, and you give us the prompt of like, this is what I want this character to do. This is where I'm at thematically with it and where I want it to go. What do you guys think? I mean, we could give you probably 3-4 different options for paths we would take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The inbox is open and waiting.
Yep. We keep a close eye on it.
Yes.
hoping for anything to show up. So it was very cool to see something show up.
Yeah.
Does this make you think of any characters in particular?
Like an existing character of mine that I might use this for?
Or like, I'll just throw it out there. You were talking a little bit about Hellboy the other day.
Oh,
which is not
yeah.
I've never seen that movie. Those movies, I think there's 2 or something.
Yeah, I don't remember how many movies there are. I think I watched the first one a long time ago.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, we can skip that.
I don't know. I'll do Hellboy. Like,
Okay.
I know him well enough to be able to do.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, Hellboy. Hellboy is psychotic. I know very little of the like actual lore of Hellboy, and I think the couple pieces that I remember might be spoilers for the movies.
Oh.
So I'm probably not going to talk about the lore of Hellboy, but his whole thing is he's got one normal dude hand, and then he's got like a big fucking like rock wrecker, like 3-finger hand.
Okay.
That's like this massive gauntlet.
Yeah.
And he uses like essentially a sawed off 50 caliber revolver.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trench coat, cigar, samurai haircut.
So what's a samurai haircut?
It's like the upturned bun kind of thing. Yeah. And then he's just got like massive rock wrecker hand and like a 50 cal revolver. It is one of the most like iconic and hilarious character designs of all time.
Okay.
So I think that the internet would probably kill me if I didn't say tiefling.
Okay. Seems logical.
Yeah, it makes sense. If it were reskinned slightly, I think giant would be a really, really cool race for Hellboy.
Uh-huh.
But tiefling makes more sense with like
Yeah.
fire resistance and things like that. I think Hellboy would be a fighter. And I think he would be specifically a gunslinger fighter using the critical role subclass.
Okay, yeah.
But I think that the fighting style that he would choose would not be based on the firearm combat. I think he would have unarmed fighting as his fighting style.
Oh, interesting.
Because it gives you your unarmed strike deals a 1d6 damage plus your strength if you are holding like objects, and if you are completely unarmed it deals 1d8 plus your strength, which I think makes perfect sense for him given the fact that it's like I also think he would have a belt of giant strength.
Okay.
Because like half of his character is being able to just like blow through walls and demolish stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think personally I have a ton of room for maybe he's this, maybe he's that. Like when I think of Hellboy, the trench coat, the cigar, everything, it screams fighter to me. So I love the concept of him being a fighter. Hellboy's a gunslinger fighter. Unarmed strike. You could use tavern brawler if you wanted to get dissimilar effect, but unarmed strike, gunslinger fighter. That was a good call with that one though. Very thematic, fits in with the sorcerer stuff.
Yeah.
Any characters or anything recently?
Boy, have I.
Yeah.
I have opinions.
That's good.
Not strongly held opinions. In fact, like I'm still kind of fighting over this within myself.
Oh yeah?
Because this was hard to think of. So I've been thinking about Link from The Legend of Zelda.
Oh boy.
This is hard.
Yeah.
Race, like easy enough to call him half elf, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily invoke any specific class.
That's the hard part.
So across the series, because the links vary, and I'll get into that a bit. I think we are looking at a fighter who is either samurai or cavalier, who multi-classes at some point in the game into Oath of the Crown Paladin.
Okay.
I think that multi-class is a decently common theme. Like just some guy who can do some things.
Yeah.
Right? And then finds a purpose and has to get a lot stronger in order to do so. And that is your Oath of the Crown. And I think Oath of the Crown is the most clear subclass that he obtains at any point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of instances to look to for that. But there is some variation between the games themselves. And for most of them, I'm having a difficult time coming up with some stuff. One of the things that briefly popped into my mind was like some kind of bard for Majora's Mask.
I was going to say College of Swords bard gives me real Link vibes.
That is a good subclass for that, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the term jack of all trades is literally baked into the class.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, you could probably apply that to Ocarina of Time as well, I think. College of Swords bard. And in Ocarina, he would multi-class into that Oath of the Crown Paladin.
That's fair. You know the variations based on the games better than I
Yeah.
do, so I trust your judgment on
Yeah.
that one.
I wish I knew the 2D ones better because there is definitely some room to explore in those. Specifically Oracle of Seasons and Ages. I'm drawing a blank on what happens in those games at all, even though I've played them. But I feel like I remember some bard shit happening.
Which one's the really, really anime looking one? Is that Skyward Sword or Wind Waker?
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker?
Yeah.
I feel like that Link would be a Kender.
Oh.
One of the new races from the Dragonlance book.
To look into that just a little bit.
Yeah. So Kender Kender get some really interesting features. They have advantage against the frightened condition.
Uh-huh.
And when you fail a saving throw to avoid or end the frightened condition on yourself, you can choose to succeed instead. Once per long rest.
This is a really good idea for that one.
Yeah.
I think that completely works.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're right.
And then they can choose one of the following skill proficiencies: insight, investigation, sleight of hand, stealth, or survival.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think kind of just lends itself to how you play the game.
Yeah, there are some things in Wind Waker that for sure make me think stealth and survival.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, good idea. That is interesting.
I also am partial to the Kender ability Taunt,
Uh-huh.
where you can attempt to just fluster a creature. As a bonus action, you unleash a string of provoking words at a creature within 60 feet of yourself that can hear and understand you. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or it has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you until the start of your next turn.
That's really funny.
It's so funny. I think a Kender Bard would be an absolutely hilarious character.
It just struck me that Wind Waker Link is also 100% a bard.
Yeah.
Because he's got the Wind Waker.
I don't know what that is.
It's a conductor's baton.
Oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
you do a lot of shit with that.
It's a wand. Magic wand.
I'm trying to think of what subclass, like maybe eloquence. You know what?
Oh.
Matt Mercer made a maestro subclass.
No way.
Yeah, College of the Maestro.
Oh my gosh. Because I know in the most
this
recent.
is 100% it.
That's so funny. I know in the most recent Tal'Dorei book that just came out, Tal'Dorei Reborn, whatever.
Yeah.
They have the College of Tragedy Bard,
which
is one that they created for Critical Role. I don't think that fits Link in this case, but still super cool. You guys should check it out. But College of the Maestro, that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, there's your Wind Waker.
That's so cool.
I don't know if he has an oath to the crown in the same way that some of the other ones do. Read my document. So I think that Skyward Sword Link is a battle master from the beginning. He goes to a military school. Or a knight's academy, rather.
Yeah.
That's where you start the game.
That makes sense.
He's a battle master.
That's really cool.
That is easy enough.
The variety in the links throughout the different games is so cool.
It's really interesting to me because you would think that most of them embark on a relatively similar type of adventure, but like the themes change more drastically than I tend to think, even.
Yeah.
And a great example of that is Twilight Princess.
I was just going to say that because that's one that Sophia has played through a ton.
Yep, she and I both. I think that is I don't know if it's my most played because, god damn, I played a lot of Breath of the Wild in 2019.
You did. You played so much Breath of the Wild.
2017 even. I played a fuck ton of that game. Circle of the Moon Druid.
Yeah.
It's the shoe fits, man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I would say Circle of the Moon Druid with a little bit of champion fighter multi-class.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting.
Specifically for the weapon proficiencies, because like you still wear like leather armor and the shield, which is very druid, but like longsword.
I think, and like the amount of fighting techniques that you pick up throughout the course of the game kind of speaks that to me. Yeah, that's a good call. Champion's a good call. Where I am really stuck is the Link from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
They are so versatile.
It's the same guy.
Yeah.
Those games are very much survival focused. I don't know with those. I'm very much stuck on Breath of the Wild Link and would love to hear what people think about that.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one. What do you guys think Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Link would be in Dungeons and Dragons? And give us a little bit of why.
Mm-hmm. This line of thinking naturally made me think of the second character that I want to talk about, which is Zelda. And I thought this was going to be harder. It's not. This is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Multi-class, light domain cleric. Of course, she's pulling out the light bow all the time and using light magic on everything. She's a light domain cleric through and through. And Way of the Open Hand.
Okay. Is that specifically for Sheik?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Of course, that only applies where Sheik is applicable, but
I would argue for Way of Shadow.
Oh, that's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the teleporting and
yeah, it's a hard dichotomy because Sheik is still Zelda and is very much associated with light, even in the games where Sheik appears. But thematically speaking, just like in how Sheik appears to the player and, moves around and does teleport, I get where you're coming from. I think that makes some sense.
Purely coming from a mechanic standpoint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Man, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's about all I have to say for her, because she's not a stagnant character. She does switch it up quite a bit.
She's consistent.
Yes.
She's consistent through all more of the games than Link is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was also thinking when you said the light bow, spiritual weapon.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
It's so good.
Uh-huh.
It's so good.
That's really cool. Yeah.
It reminds me of there was a Critical Role one shot where it was a level 21 shot with the characters from campaign 1.
Mm-hmm.
So Ashley Johnson was playing Pike again, the her cleric, gnome cleric. And Laura was playing Vex, her ranger. And they were at an event and didn't have their like weapons on them. And so a fight broke out, whatever. And it was like the big fight at the end of the episode. And Vex was like, I don't have my bow. I don't have anything. I don't have a single weapon I can use. I'm kind of useless. And so Ashley turned to Matt and she was like, hey, I want to cast spiritual weapon, but I want to make it Vexalia's bow and hand it to her. And everyone at the table was like,
oh man.
Yeah. And Matt was like, that's badass. Of course I'm going to let you do that.
Yeah.
So she basically created the legendary bow that Vexalia had and was like, here you go.
Ooh.
Here's your weapon for the fight.
That's fun.
And I was like, this is why D&D exists.
Yeah.
Like, please break the rules when it's badass to break the rules.
Because that's way off rules.
Yeah.
But like nothing is more rule of cool than that.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah.
That's so sick. I love everything about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like even just looking at like Zelda in Smash Bros, like her ultimate in Smash being the like sorry, I just cut your camera off. Well, like where she like has like the big arrow that goes across the stage. I think that was in Brawl. I don't know if it's in any of the other ones.
Brawl and 4, yeah.
And 4. But yeah, like just imagining the bow made of light being her own spiritual weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The flavor that you can put into this game and the ways that you can say, hey, DM, can I use this spell, this magic effect, this item in this weird way?
Yeah.
I get goosebumps every time. It makes me so happy.
Cool episode, dude.
Yeah.
Evil
This is a good
episode.
one. Evil episode.
Evil episode.
Devils and demons and Zeldas.
Put devils and demons in my game.
It's the devil's game.
Bro, we are going to single-handedly restart the Satanic Panic.
Yeah, it's going to be our fault.
This is a demon game.
I'm putting it right back in there. No, it's Jacob's fault.
It's Jacob's.
Sorry, Jacob.
What have you done, man?
We're throwing you under the bus.
God.
And on that terrible disappointment.
Thank you so much for watching Summon Greater Podcast. If you want to send us more stuff like what Jacob sent us,
if anyone has any celestial stuff you want to send us to, balance out the universe,
please do. That would be fun to talk about.
That would be really badass.
Send it to @SummonGreater on Twitter or summongreaterpodcast@gmail.com. Or of course, if you're summongreaterpod@gmail.com. Thank you. Or of course, if you're following any of our socials, throw it in a comment or a DM. We take all of those.
Hit us up.
Thank you for watching and goodbye.
Bye.